What is up, everybody? Welcome back for another week of Oversteering Underdogs. I'm Rob. This is my buddy Deane, and man, we had a fun weekend. 16 hours of total racing that we were able to watch. I love how last week I was like, "Oh, I'm not sure what's on this weekend." Oh, just the finals for IMSA, and then one of the gnarliest Australian races I've ever witnessed in my entire life. So, no, that was great. Honestly, like I want to start with IMSA just because Cadillac pulled out another back-to-back win. Wheeling team got the dub. Didn't get the championship, but we're starting to see them work in the right direction. It was nice to see.
It sure was. And, there's not a lot of endurance races that I end up watching, like, flag to flag. But this one, it was just, there was always something happening. And sometimes it can be hard to pay attention to them. But this was, it grabbed me the whole race. I mean, it started right on the first lap.
35 seconds in.
Just complete carnage. Just
35
carnage.
seconds in. That was one of the heaviest hits. And it sucks
Brutal.
because, like, obviously they were racing for championship points. They were trying to work that he knew I need to move, but he's also racing for his seat next year. Which obviously is in the back of your mind, if not the front of your mind, when you're going into the final race of the season. He saw a gap, everyone's braking. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to take the inside line." And then, ooh, that was one of the gnarliest head-on collisions I've seen in a while.
Yeah, that was brutal. It was brutal. I mean, the way you could just tell from the way the car kind of disintegrated.
Oh.
It was just stuff everywhere. But the whole race was just like, if there wasn't somebody wrecking, there was somebody going off. If there wasn't somebody going off, they were struggling to get around slower class traffic. Just brutal battles. And then even, I had it on all day and I'm checking in on it periodically as I walk past the TV or whatever else. 4.5 hours in, I check in. I'm like, oh, they're only 3 seconds apart from each other. The top three. What? Come back again. There's 2 hours left in the race. They're still apart 2-3 seconds. That's just to keep that pace for so long and have it be basically the same cars that's wild.
And
that's
the
wild
strategy,
that nobody can pull a gap.
The strategy that came down to the end, like Aston Martin, can we please talk about how amazing literally they were absolute dog shit when they first came into this, because this was their first season ever doing it. They don't have the analytics, they don't have the data, they don't have the experience like these other teams. So you're obviously gonna be shit.
And it was like, for them, even just checking in on highlights, even you could see it. It was, if it wasn't the car breaking down, it was a door that wouldn't close or flew open. Like just strange electrical issues, just weird things that you expect as a new team, I would say. But the way they were able to gather all that together so quickly over just one season, they're going to be a pretty big threat. And by the way, probably, I'm going to say the second best sounding car on the grid.
Oh my God. Honestly, I put the Valkyrie on. I love the sound of the Cadillac when it kicks from that hybrid to the V8. But man, that Valkyrie full send, screaming.
You can hear it in the blimp.
Oh my gosh. And even the announcers are like, we're just going to not talk for a second so we can enjoy this. And it's like, thank you. I want to enjoy it too. And the crazy thing was, like, they decided to do that. They pitted early before everybody else and did a top off before everybody. And that is what got them, I believe, into that third place position. If they would have waited, I don't think they would have probably topped it off just to make it to the end. They were able to top it off with a little extra so they could just hammer. There was no lift and coast with them. They were just full throttle all the way through.
Oh, it was great. And I love to see a team get to progress like that. It's fun to watch them learn as I kind of learn. It's a lot of fun to watch a team like that come and be as successful as they can. Especially wanting them to, coming out with the Valkyrie as a I don't know if you want to call it a road car, but a road car. And then being able to put it to the track and show what it can do is a wild thing. In some places, I suppose. But it's just cool to see. It's nice to see them be able to succeed. We're going to have the two best sounding cars potentially in the history of racing just sitting at the front of the grid next year.
Literally.
Between the Cadillac that sounds like you're opening up a gate to hell and this car that just I don't know what it screams, but it
Dude, it
screams.
sounds like banshees
Oh,
coming
it's craziness.
to get you. Like, that would be so, like, even just as, like, a
Intimidating.
lower yeah, it's so intimidating, but even as, like, a lower class car, you just hear, like, coming
It,
by you, that's gotta
yeah.
be terrifying to hear that coming
Oh, yeah.
down the road.
And I love the blimp shots showing random battles. And as soon as they focus on those, Caddy versus Valkyrie, it's like, oh, I know exactly what cars those are before you tell me because I can
Yeah.
hear both of them. They're the two loudest vehicles on the grid. It's awesome. I love
Like,
it. Oh, it's
the Porsche
tremendous.
hypercars, the Ferraris,
They're
they
quiet.
all
They're
kinda
so
sound the
quiet.
same. It almost
Yeah,
is
they got
like
no
a
sound.
this age Formula 1 car. It's just very
Yeah,
quiet. And then you have the
yeah.
Valkyrie sounding like a 2006 Ferrari. Like,
Oh, it's amazing.
it's just
Uh,
so cool.
and there was great racing all over by all the categories too.
Yeah.
Uh, Getting to see, it was real nice to watch the BMW win um, last time with their title sponsor.
Yeah,
You
last
know,
time with, I think it's Ray Hall Letterman is their last
yeah,
time, and they were able to win the overall, which was cool. Cadillac pulled out, first place. Chevy took, GTD Pro, which is
yep,
awesome. Love to see a
yep,
GM manufacturer take it. Even though Cadillac couldn't pull it together for the total win, they still got third place.
yeah.
Um,
And I never really
and
had a doubt about it. They just look strong. I would say it
yeah,
was hard to say like, oh, that guy's so far out of it. There's no chance. It was one of those races that everybody had a chance, and I never felt, I never felt like it was gonna. It relaxed. It really was just
yeah.
great.
It was funny, AMG Mercedes, they took GTD within the first 35 seconds because their only competition got bottled up into that
Mm,
gnarly wreck. The 66 Mustang unfortunately got completely gathered. It was just
yeah. Oh, it took
an
out so many
innocent
cars.
bystander, and he got hit in the rear, got smashed into the, Ferrari that caused all the issues, and it was just over. Um,
Everything got collected.
Everything,
Good
and
driving by that black vet driver though.
yeah,
Oh my!
that was,
Jack on
number
the brakes into the
14.
grass.
I think it was number 14 in GTD, jacked on the brakes and said, "I'm gonna wait this one out."
And let me say
Um,
that's got to be
yep.
the best looking car in that category.
Oh, black with
It's
those
so
white
good.
lines on the
Oh,
body lines. Oh, it
so
just makes it
nice.
pop so well.
It's so
Um,
nice.
that's something that you were talking to me about the other day, how cool of a job that would be to come up with, like, different liveries and things like that.
Oh yeah. No, I got a good one coming up for this. I got
Hell
a good
yeah.
one coming for this. I got an oversteer underdog theme one. It's gonna be pretty sweet.
Yeah, we're gonna
And breaking
transfer
out the airbrush.
that over to any, iRacing cars.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna do my helmet too. I'm doing a bunch of stuff. We're doing a
That'll be
bunch of
fun.
stuff.
That'll be
Oh
fun.
yeah.
So, no, IMSA was great. It was, like you said, action-packed from beginning to end. And congrats to Penske taking not only the manufacturer championship, but they took first, second. No, they took both drivers for car number 6 took first, and then car number 7. No, was it car number 3? I can't remember which one exactly, but they took second place too. So literally all 4 drivers, top 4 drivers for the driver championship were Porsche Penske. They just came out of the season just cracking.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
they kept
Yeah.
winning back to back to back. No one could catch up to them. Cadillac was the one who they thought was going to be their biggest competition, and they kept on getting just bad strategy situations bottled up in, just bad, like, lower class car situations, things like that with it. So they couldn't catch a break until the end of the season. It was too little, too late at that point.
Yeah, oh, it was just such a competitive. It was, like I said, I've said it a couple times, but it's been such a competitive season this year, and with newcomers coming in the near future here, it's just getting better and better.
Yeah,
You got GMR coming in soon. Uh, who knows what they're going to bring. Seeing the progress of Aston and how they've done,
yeah,
it's just shown. I think it's a wide open category in these prototypes. We don't know who's going to be able to. Nobody has a clear edge.
yeah,
And then you got McLaren who'll be coming along as soon as well.
yeah.
So you got quite the lineup going on. We're gonna have some serious manufacturer battles.
Yeah, Genesis 2026 for WEC, and then we've got Genesis 2027 for IMSA. So that'll be really cool to see with it. And honestly, another class that I like to that I want to touch on is the LMP2 class, which for those of you who don't know what LMP2 is, they are all the same car. The only differences are really the just what the teams can do adjustments on. So like aero, just basic like suspension adjustments, just the small tweaks that will make or break your drive. But the cars themselves are essentially the same across all the platforms. And the funniest thing, I didn't really realize it. It's just a bunch of millionaire and billionaires who have nothing better to do because they sold their company for $8 billion. And now what they do is they jump into LMP2 cars and go and drive
Yeah.
around for a whole season.
Why not? Realize a childhood dream.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. I think that's
one
great.
of one of my favorite stories with this, what was his name? Can't remember what his name was to save my life right now. But was it Chris? Yeah, so his name was Chris Cumming, and he's a lawyer, a full-time lawyer. He played nothing but high school. He was a multi-sport athlete in high school, went to college and was a star quarterback, and then transferred colleges to become a lawyer. Did the lawyer gig for a few years. Still is a lawyer, but was like, yeah, I'm down to go and drive. Yesterday or Saturday
That's
was his
awesome.
last drive.
Mhm.
He was super emotional. They won the pole for LMP2, and then they ended up winning the race. So it was really cool to see that just come to, like, again, it wasn't even like a childhood dream for him. It was a midlife, I almost want to say crisis. And he's like, let's go jump in a car. And he's done like 4 or 5 seasons now and decided that for now at least he's gonna hang up the gloves. Dude's like 60 something year, 50, late 50s,
Wow.
and
Good
he's
for
out
him.
there blasting around in the second fastest powerful car on that track for a whole season. So it's just really cool to see some of these stories that come out. And again, like you see a lot of these guys like in GTD. They're a bunch of young guns who have worked through like karting or like anything like lower models, and they work their way up to it. You see a lot of the prototype drivers are ex Formula One, ex IndyCar.
Mhm.
I mean, we had Hinchcliffe from Formula One who was in
Yeah.
IndyCar. He was in. He I think his team finished 10th.
Yeah.
Um,
Grosjean.
but then you just have a bunch of billionaires who ain't got nothing more but time, and they're jumping in these cars and having fun. So it's really cool to see the different dynamics from GTD, which is mixed with amateurs and pros, all the way up to
Mhm.
hypercars, which is multi-time F1 winning, IndyCar winning drivers.
Yeah. No, I think it's great. It's almost like, I mean, it's nice to see these guys who probably wouldn't have done any of this if this category didn't exist.
Yeah.
To see these guys who are they're genuinely guys out there having fun. They're not guys out here doing it for a job. They don't need the money. They don't
No.
care. They're doing this because they can. To see those guys go racing is and race exclusively against each other is really cool. It's almost like the you read all these backgrounds of these guys, and it's almost like the WWE of motor racing. Like he's a lawyer by day, race car driver at night. Like I think that's awesome. And these guys have real backs. They have different backstories than these race car drivers. I think that's really cool. Makes them more people. A
Yeah.
lot of people, these billionaires can be hard to relate to. And when you hear them in that way, you're almost like, wow, maybe there's somebody out there who's watching these races that wants to be a lawyer or wants to go down some of these paths, and they get to see these are things you can do. These are people. These are real people. They're not just, you know, 17 thrown into a race car and
Yeah.
they had rich parents. These are guys that they worked their butt off to get where they are, and they're reaping the rewards and having.
Yeah, like literally one of the guys was he sold his company for like $6 billion. Like he started a company, sold the company, and then was like, all right, cool. I've got nothing but time now. And the funny thing is it does not matter in that series how much money you have. You can pay your way into the
Yeah,
seat, but you can't pay for
spec.
performance. You cannot
Yeah,
pay for spec at all. So it's
yep,
literally it's pretty cool to see that these guys are actually like, this is talent.
yeah.
Some
And
of
the
these guys are
cars
pure talent.
they're very fast cars. They're just a little bit heavier, is what it seems like.
Yeah.
They're just a little heavier with no real difference between them. I mean, the things are absolute rocket ships,
Dude.
and and it's fun. It's just it's so much fun. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
that's why we all watch this. That's why we all like this because it's fun.
Yeah.
I love to see IMSA embracing that. It was
And
a great
and
addition.
I also love the fact that they interviewed the president of IMSA. They
Oh yeah,
sold
I saw. Yeah,
out Atlanta. They sold out
yeah.
that race, and that was
They
one of the first times on American soil that a racing event has been sold out. No tickets, no standing room. Sorry, see you
mhm.
later. Good luck next
They had
year.
over. I heard they had a multi-mile long line waiting to get in this morning.
Yep.
That morning, like we talk about the growth. Obviously, we talk mostly about F1, but talking about the growth of motorsport. Um, it's it's one of these things. I feel like F1 was the platform everybody jumped off of, and some of them are continuing to go up at a rate higher than F1 is currently. Uh, and this is just amazing, even just at the local track.
Yeah.
This weekend was also down at Seekonk. We got to go see Seekonk Speedway and watch the enduro drags over there when we went, trailer races and all that. They had their pumpkin smash this weekend too. And let me tell you, I've like I think I've said it before. I've grown up going there, and there was always you could always get a great seat. It didn't matter what time you got there, whatever. Now the place was it sells out. It has for the last 2 years, and it's just I don't think it's just the novelty of it. I think it's purely this growth in motorsport.
Yeah.
More people. It's more accessible to watch. People are finding ways to get into it, and this is just one of them. But it's amazing. You see these small tracks selling out. You see IMSA selling out Road Atlanta. That's crazy.
That's
To sell out
crazy.
Road Atlanta is insane. You see F1 races, every single one sold out. Every NASCAR races, most of them are sold out now. It's it's nice. It's really good to see. I love to see the growth. I love to see more people coming in. Even Lock City Drift. I can't imagine how many drivers they've added in the last few years. I'm sure it's quite a few.
Dude, and you
And
can't get
it's
it
great.
on a Saturday event, if you're not there in the morning, you're parking in the parking lot. Like, you can't
Yeah.
get those seats up on the fence like we get when we get
Eh,
there at 9, 8
Yeah.
o'clock.
Yeah, and I love that. I think that's how you always want it to be, right? The more eyes means more attention. It just means more for the sport, more drivers, more opportunity, more opportunity for sponsors to get in, more everything. Everybody's just eager to be a part of it,
Yeah.
which is I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, and honestly, like, back to the president, it was really cool listening to his story too. Like, he grew up coming to Road Atlanta with his dad, and when he
Mm.
was a teenager, I think he said he was like actually, no, I think he said he was, like, 9 years old when he was, like, coming there with his dad, and now he is the president of IMSA. He gets to not only go and see what happened, like he was almost getting choked up talking about how the multi-mile long line, they sold out the event, like how many people are coming through there. He was physically excited about that. And it's really cool to see people in charge of these leagues that actually
Yeah,
care and they care
yeah,
about the sport. And
yeah,
it's really cool.
yeah. No, I think it's great. They had a interview earlier in the year. Was it with the owners of Virginia?
I
I
think so.
believe. Talking about how they restored that whole circuit. There's so many people with so much passion, and it kind of goes back to the growth. But uh, they have so much passion for this stuff, and these people wouldn't be able to have some of these things without the growth we've had, and all the sponsors that have jumped on.
Yeah.
Um, it's fantastic. Watching Virginia get restored, being made into a raceway that they use now, to the level they do,
For a lot
and
of
then
different
yeah,
series. Lots I
and,
mean,
and
that's
it's
where Skip Barber goes
yeah.
through there, like, the
It's
Formula Racing
all
School, like
Yeah, and it's all for the love of it, which is why anybody does it. That's it. It's all because we like it. We're weirdos that like engines and things that go vroom, and we don't care about the danger. It's
yeah,
it's a unique person, and that unique. It's nice that's being recognized.
yeah.
It really is.
And it also does, like, it does make me sad because still at the same time, we have a lot of these bigger tracks that are getting redone, resurfaced, they're getting the facelifts, they're getting more people to them, but we're seeing so many drag strips getting shut down. Even in the last year
Yeah.
or two, we're seeing strips shut down. We're seeing small local tracks, which I'm thankful that Thompson's doing so well, because like it's tracks like that and locations like that that are getting shut down, that aren't getting resurfaced, they're not getting remade and things like that. So we are still seeing like a lot of it throughout, but hopefully with more people coming through and, less takeovers, happening across. I hate the whole
Yeah.
takeover scene right now. They're the
Yeah.
reason why. And I swear, if anyone listening is for takeovers or have partook, that I'm not a
I can,
fan. I
no,
I
I'm
hate
not
what
either.
they're
I can
bringing to
understand.
the car
Yeah.
culture.
I can understand the fun of like going out and doing something like they're doing, but no, it's a dangerous thing that it
Gives
brings
us
a
a bad
bad
name.
name to
Oh,
anybody with a car that makes any kind of sound or looks modified. Makes everybody look at you sideways. So that's a tough subject. It really is.
yeah, because
I
we're
enjoy burnouts
already
and donuts as much as
yeah.
anybody else, just
Don't
not in
do
the
it in the
middle of a
middle of the
public street.
street. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't do it in the middle of the street. And like that's the thing. Like that's why places are getting shut down. That's why
Yeah.
towns are putting in ordinances for decibel sounds and for decibel levels. And why
Mhm.
these tracks are getting shut down is because they're like, oh, well, this is the crowd that it's bringing. No, it's not. Because I bet you
Right.
money that you can go to a Thompson Drift event and leave
Mhm.
there and not see any shenanigans happening within a
Absolutely.
probably 10 to 20-mile radius, because people
It's what
respect
keeps
it.
it off the street. It's what keeps
Yes.
it off the street. More tracks means it won't be on the street. Is the way I see it. It's always going to happen. There's always going to be a small percentage, but you're going to
That's
get
with
a much
anything
lower
though.
percentage with the exactly. You're going to get it. It's the opportunity to go out and do it. The opportunity to go out and go fast
Yeah.
without that consequence of getting in trouble or killing somebody. Um,
Yeah.
it makes a big difference.
It does. So hopefully that can kind of get like, bottlenecked a little bit and taken care of, because it's just a shame to see what happened to Slammed Enough. To see what happened in
Yeah.
Gatlinburg. Or
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Cedarsville or something like that. It was
Yeah. It's all
supposed to
part
be
of that Gatlinburg
Gatlinburg,
event.
but they moved it, whatever. But everyone's just
Mhm.
calling and saying Gatlinburg.
Oh, it's like
Um,
H2OI used to be,
yeah,
H2OI turned to the same thing. It was just years and years of abuse and the state got tired of it.
yeah,
Um, which is, you don't want to see something like that happen to an event that leads into FL2K. You don't want to, like, these are massive events that bring in a lot of revenue to surrounding businesses,
yeah.
but also give us that outlet to get that adrenaline out in a safe way.
Yeah, safe way. And honestly, like I definitely learned my lesson earlier this year. Um, but that's why like now it's like, okay, cool. Like I'm not going to put people at risk. I'm going to go and do this on the track. I'm going to get my car ready to go and not even compete, just be able to get that adrenaline rush, that because again, like you
Yeah.
said, we're just people who love loud, fast cars, and we're adrenaline
Mhm.
junkies. And this is, some people go and jump out of airplanes, some people go bungee jumping, some people do parkour. We go and jump in cars and go 160 miles an hour.
Yeah. It's absolutely. And for anybody who does any of those things, they're all going to say the same thing. It feels like nothing else.
Yes.
It's how you get your rush,
There is
and
nothing that I have experienced in my life that compares to the adrenaline that pumps through your veins when you are doing something that reckless.
yeah, yeah, and like I mean, I have I have a friend who he's been hesitant to go to a track. I won't call him out because I know he listens, but he's a real good friend of mine. He's been hesitant about taking his car to the track just because he's like, oh, it's slow. Uh, it's a hell of a lot more fun to drive a slow car real fast than it is to drive a fast car real slow.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna give you crap for bringing whatever you bring. Um, as long as you go there, you have fun, you drive it like a badass. Who cares?
Yeah.
You're having fun.
That's
That's
what
what it's
track
for.
nights are
That's what it's for,
for.
and it keeps
That's
you off the street and it
yes.
keeps it safe.
That's what track
That's it.
nights are for. That's why SCCA is a thing. That's why CART is a thing in at least in New
Yep.
Hampshire. And I know that there's places all over I mean, SCCA stretches from coast to coast, north to south. Like there's
Mhm.
areas, there's tracks everywhere that you can go and jump on for literally $400 for a
Yep.
whole day.
Go out there with a decent set of tires. It doesn't need to be something you go out and you buy special or whatever. Go out there on a decent set of tires that aren't going to blow. Go have fun. Go have
And
fun.
some
Get ready to
good brake
replace
fluid
your
and some
brake
good
pads.
brakes.
Well, get ready to replace your brake pads after, but spend the $50. Get the brake pads.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. You'll be
You'll
fine.
be
You'll have a good
fine.
time.
And you'll
You're not going to
meet
be the
some
highest performing
cool,
guy out there, but you're going to have fun.
and you're going to meet really cool people and people who don't care. There's going to be people in 700 horsepower Corvettes. I've seen stock cars out there that are like modded
Yeah.
out for track racing, for road course. They're still going to talk to you like you're an because they're not out there to race you. They're out there to do the same thing you're trying to, and that's get your little adrenaline high.
Absolutely.
Speaking of adrenaline, the supercars in Australia are
Holy
a
crap.
sight to see.
I don't think my heart rate's dropped below 100 since.
Dude,
And it was 2 days ago.
Those guys, so it was the Bathurst 1,000 kilometer supercar race. And supercars, you think supercars, you're like, oh, McLaren's, the Ferrari. No, supercars in Australia are tube chassis Mustangs and tube chassis Camaros with 600 to 700 horsepower V8 slapped inside of them, blasted. And with dudes who I'm surprised can sit down comfortably, going through turns and having the most insane amounts of fun from what it looks like on my end I've ever seen.
It's if you've never seen or been to or raced on in a video game or whatever else, Mount Panorama in Bathurst, it is 4 miles abouts of some of the longest straightaways you'll ever see. Probably I think they're about 1.5 miles long each side of the road. Very short straightaway to start finish line, and then you drive through a mountain. And when I say through a mountain, I mean it looks like somebody threw like a rubber band on the ground and said, "Yeah, that looks good. We're gonna blow that into the side of a mountain."
Yep.
It's mental. It's absolutely mental.
Absolutely nuts.
And let me tell you, it's crazy in the dry. Anybody who has any kind, if you have Forza, whatever else, go try it. Go try that. Go drive the track. Now imagine doing that in the rain. Okay. This is what happened this weekend. It is awesome. From lap 1, it's just every lap. I was telling Rob as I watched it, I'm like, I have watched 161 laps of racing. There's been maybe 2 of them that didn't matter, and that was because it was a caution.
Yeah.
It was like passes constantly, battles constantly, constant.
People literally doing passes where any normal human being would be like, nah, no, that's not supposed to happen. And they're like 3 wide doing it. I'm like, what?
The race was tremendous leading up to about, what was it, lap 60 or 61, I think it was.
Dude. And then the rain.
Fantastic battles, crazy contact. Yeah, and then it starts raining. And it's looming this whole time. It's looming. You can hear the announcers. Oh, might rain.
If it goes south, we'll be good.
They're like, I don't know. This could be real bad. Bathurst in the rain. We don't see it much. And these are guys that the announcers, I believe, they're ex-drivers.
Yeah.
And they're talking about how scary it is. And then as soon as it rains, it's like, okay, these 2 guys are coming in for wets. Everybody else, what are wet tires for?
We just
race on hockey pucks. Yeah, we race on hockey pucks. Screw it. It was incredible. And even the announcers being amazed by passes they're making. These are guys that watch this and do this every year. Like, wow, you don't see passes there. I don't know if I've ever seen a pass there.
Yeah.
It's like, it's narrow. There's no runoff. I think there's probably 3 or 4 corners on the whole track that have runoff. And I think it's a 20 plus turn circuit.
Yeah.
It's concrete walls.
People were ping-ponging off those concrete walls.
Yeah. It's not safer barrier. It's nothing. And it's not concrete that's going to go anywhere no matter how hard you hit it, because it's backfilled completely with earth.
Yeah.
You hit it, it's just like
you're hitting a concrete wall.
There's no give.
There's none.
One of the guys hit the wall so hard, his front passenger shock flew out and landed in the middle of the track.
And then somebody
ran it over. Yeah, that was the other thing I didn't realize about specifically this race. I suppose they just leave parts of cars in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
It'll move.
It'll move one way or another, and usually it's the other.
Also, the sheer, like, I don't even know what kind of behavior it was to have this guy. There's this specific Mustang driving around. 7 cylinders, absolutely hammering the crap out of the thing. He's keeping the revs up so it doesn't die. And then they have the caution, the car dies on restart because the revs aren't high enough, and it finally melted itself into a solid block iron.
Yeah.
Pulls it over the side of the road, hops out. Oh, he's going to the crowd. See where he goes. Oh, he's next to this very famous tent. Let's see what oh, they handed him a beer. And he's just chugging beers, taking pictures with fans. And
someone goes to offer him a hot dog. He's like, no, I'm good.
No, just beer.
Just beer.
They show the garage and everybody's clapping. They're laughing. For him. Their car I'm sorry, your car just blew up. What's happening? And the announcer said something I don't think I'll ever forget. He said, we really do have Neanderthal needs. Race car, beer, race car stopped, drink beer.
Like, I love the announcers. I absolutely love
wonderful.
them. And honestly, like, one of my favorite things about that race did come from the announcers and like one of the tech guys. So in Formula One, like, you usually have like the guys going through and like analyzing the videos of maybe the one wreck that happens the whole race, and like, or analyzing a move and things like that. The coolest thing was there was this one specific dude that was in the garage the whole time. And the first thing I saw that I thought was interesting, he like dives underneath the car and he's got a camera, like a GoPro set up on his head. And he is talking about the front, like, was it the front strut or the front sway bar? Yeah, there's a front strut. And showing you how they like adjust it if they need to make adjustments on the fly. He was explaining it so just in layman's terms, but I could understand it. Talking about how, okay, this is how the butter knife is set up. If you need to make any adjustments, you just undo this Allen wrench, twist it 20, 30 degrees, whichever way you want the butter knife to go. And it looked like a butter knife. And then you put it back on and you take off. It takes them about 10 seconds to be able to do that while they're on a pit stop. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. That's really informative. Then they go to the rain starts coming in and they start doing on the telemetry between this one specific driver showing his braking, his throttle, and his steering. It was the coolest thing to see how much more brake and throttle play was going on, the jerking of the steering wheel, how awful it was to deal with, and just really kind of painting a picture of like, wow, if you ever say any type of motorsport driver isn't an athlete, these guys are literally throttling 3,500 pound beasts at 160 miles an hour in the rain, throwing it through corners, drifting sideways, and still keeping their position.
Anything that's on a track with over 3 degrees of camber, you're mental. That's what the front ends on those cars are just nuts. They're so much fun to watch. I will be watching, I'm going to say, every single race for the rest of the season.
Hands
they
down.
are going up to, they got a really, another pretty famous race coming up here at the Gold Coast, famous for massive sausage curbs. This is where you get those really cool pictures of DTM cars or these V8 supercars up on 2 wheels for what looks like they should roll over, and sometimes they do. I'm excited to see the onboards for that. Watching these guys, when they hit these things, it looks like you smash into a speed bump at 100. It's mental.
And they just gracefully set it back down and take off.
It's gracefully as you can at 3,000 pound cars.
One other thing with the announcers I loved is instead of like, all of our normal series talking about when the track gets wet, it's wet. There's rain on the track. These guys kept on saying it's greasy, and it was just I've never heard like, oh, it's getting really greasy out there. And obviously in their Australian accent just made it even funnier, but I've never heard someone reference wet as greasy. And it was just like, just some of the little small nuances. They were entertaining. They kept it lively, but they didn't need, they were almost, it was cool to see it because it was almost like the commentators were also just spectating and they just happened to have mics on. They weren't like
I
trying.
I felt like I was just enjoying the race with somebody that knew more about it. Which is, at the end of the day, that's kind of what I want.
It was like Formula
awesome.
One it's funny. Like we love Formula One. It's so much more like proper in a sense. They keep it a little bit more tame. IMSA and WEC, it's a little bit more like, depending on the announcers, it's a little bit more interesting, They talk a little, they have, it's a little less tame, but then like these guys just didn't give a shit. They were having the time of their life commentating on this race, and it was cool to watch. One thing that I looked up to, because I was like interested in on like what the difference is between like GTD in IMSA and like the other series and what the supercars were. So I like looked it up, and so obviously like they're production based GT supercars, which is like your Porsche 911, GT3R, Mercedes AMG, your Corvette Z06, things like that, with very limited tweaks done to the car. And then you have your supercars, which are tube frame chassis, mainly from Ford Mustang GTs and Chevy Camaro ZL1s. That literally the only thing that resembles those cars is the panels that they put on it. Nothing else inside that vehicle. They're pumping 5.7 V8s, 5.4 V8s in the Fords, compared to just your basic like V6 V8 turbo. There's no turbos in these things. They're just honking ass 635 to 650 horsepower cars, and they are meant to be battled. Like they are meant to, oh my God, they are meant to be thrown through those corners. They're meant to do the rubbing is racing. It's wild how they were throwing out a lot of penalties throughout that race.
But the crazy thing, it was specifically only if you spun somebody out. And even when somebody spun, that was one of the other things that kind of surprised me. Guy spins out on this tight track, spins out perpendicular to the wall. There's no yellow.
Oh, it was both of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they just sit there. They just sit there. Wow, I really hope nobody backs up. And then once they do, just go ahead.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Oh, it was nonstop action. Fantastic door-to-door racing. It was a spectacle. If you haven't watched it yet, you should check it out.
No, absolutely. Highly recommend. Same here. I'm going to be watching it too. That's going to be a fun series to start kind of going about, because I feel like we're coming into the, obviously IMSA just ended. We're coming towards the end of a lot of certain series because it's wintertime. But I don't know how long their season goes down there. Like it's Australia. They don't have wintertime. It's not a thing. So, but no, that's definitely going to be a fun one to watch with it. I guess we should talk about the upcoming race this weekend.
I suppose it's kind of important.
It is. It's Houston. It is one of my favorite tracks to jump on and run on the sim. It is a lot of fun, and obviously, like, you have that whole meme that goes around, I accidentally called her Charles Leclerc's final lap. But it is a beautiful track, especially towards the end of the day. You get the beautiful sunset that's coming through with it. So that'll be interesting. Obviously, we'll see what happens with McLaren.
They're both going to crash. They're both going to crash.
So. I really hope so. I just want to see it happen. It needs to happen. I feel like it's like the tension in the room. You could cut it with a knife. Something, the shoe needs to drop in some way or another.
Yeah. I mean, there's only, I don't know. I'm curious to see how Oscar reacts. I think I know how he's going to react. I think he's going to just be, screw you guys, I'm winning this championship.
Yeah.
I am curious to see, the interesting idea is like, they take each other out. They get no points. Max wins that race. Now Max is genuinely in striking distance. What does McLaren do as a team? Do they back one driver who just so happen to be in front, who just happen to be Oscar Piastri, who's not Zach Brown's boy? What do you do? Are they willing to do that as a team? Are they willing to truly play papaya rules that way, where it's okay, we're not going to screw both of our drivers. We're going to have you fight for him and help him out.
Yeah.
And
that's going to cause animosity.
Tough. Oh, yeah. And that's a tough one. That's a real hard call. If Oscar's in the lead, I assume he's just technically your number one driver. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's wild. It's a weird situation that I think is going to play out pretty dramatically.
Yeah.
I feel like this year's just a soap opera.
It is. It really is. And honestly, like, I loved Lewis's comment on it, of him saying, stop listening. What's your advice to Oscar? Don't listen anymore. Yeah, because he did the same thing. There's I think I sent it to you. There's a legitimate interview. Times. What they're like, what happened? Like, why didn't you listen to that? And he's like, because I'm fighting for a championship. Like, what do you mean? Yeah. I'm definitely not going to.
Max did the same thing to Sergio back in the day.
Yeah. It's happened every time.
Sergio,
Like,
yeah, it's
it
what it
doesn't
takes.
matter.
It's
It
what it takes.
doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
you are fighting for a championship, you are going to somebody is going to feel less liked in a sense
Yeah.
or less
But
backed, and
there's
it's
going to be
Oscar.
antics, right? There's
Yeah,
going to be antics. There's always been antics. You can look at Hamilton's he has the most instances because he has the most championships. But I mean, him and Fernando felt so threatened. Remember when during that qualifying session, he stops in the box and he actually delays Hamilton so he can't go out and get another run to get
yeah,
pole. And then I believe the same season, he actually came into the garage, paid the garage extra money personally to not screw with his stuff. Like it's mental. And then you have, the Nico and Lewis rivalry, two childhood friends, grew up racing karting, grew up going through all these ranks. They're good friends. There's a specific set of interviews where they ask Nico, you guys still friends? You still talk? He goes, yeah, of course we do. We're still buddies. They ask Lewis, he says, no, we don't talk. No, we're not friends. It's a different
it's a killer
attitude.
mentality.
You got to do what you got to do. This is what you work so hard to get to.
It's like I started
let
in
anybody get in your way.
karting. I started in karting to come up to this level. I got through
Mhm.
the lower levels of Formula. I got to Formula 1. What is your goal? To prove that you are the best.
Yeah. That's why you do it, to be champion. You don't do it because it's fun. When you
Rip
get to that level,
rip that
you
fucking
might start
radio
because it's
out
fun.
mid-race.
Yeah, pull an Oscar on Zach Brown. Disconnect it.
Yep. Oscar's going to pull an
Disconnect it.
Oscar again. I know he's going to pull that again.
Yeah, it's going to come up. It's somewhat inevitable. I feel their two cars are just so close together. Any second loss on a pit stop, anything is going to be well, is that fair? And that's the precedent McLaren set. It was silly to do, but they did. Now you have guys that are going to be looking for favors from each other, and Oscar now knows he's not going to get it.
Yeah.
So next time you come on the radio and you're like, hey, Lando had a slow stop, it's going to be silent. It's not going to happen.
No, it's not. There, he's done.
Nor should
it's not. Yeah, exactly. It should not happen. And that's done for the rest of the season. So, honestly, like, I mean, I'd love to be like, oh, Ferrari's gonna come back this weekend and do some damage. No, they're not gonna do anything. I honestly feel like us saying like they're not gonna do anything is like maybe good juju. So we'll see. But yeah, they're not doing anything.
All right. I only put them on pole because the other two McLarens are gonna wreck.
Did we already do predictions for this?
Yeah, we somehow managed to have identical predictions because I was writing mine down as you said yours.
Yeah.
Max, George, Charles. Like I said, Charles is there because the McLarens are going to wreck.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens this weekend. That is a late in the afternoon one. 4:00 start?
I believe so, yeah.
I think so. Yeah, 4:00 start. So yeah, that'll be fun. And then the following weekend we've got Mexico, which is always a good race. And then the following weekend we have Vegas. I feel like we just looked at it before the episode and I already forgot.
We did. It's Brazil. I believe it's Austin, Mexico, week off, Brazil, Vegas, and then we start our Middle Eastern tour here.
Yeah.
We finish it up.
Yeah. So no, that'll be fun. Houston's always a fun race. And then unfortunately IMSA's done. We've still got GT World going on because other places in the world aren't cold yet. It's nice and chilly and rainy and windy outside here in Mass. So
yeah, extremely.
Which also is going to be, I know that I'm not going to be able to do the Night of the Living Shred on the 31st, but November 1st is going to be one of the last 3 Lock City Drift events. So definitely would like to go to that. Would love you to come along if you can, but if not, I'll make sure I get some good footage. It's the first 9 to 5er, nice work day to put in. So we'll be checking that out coming up. Didn't get out to the wheeling races this weekend, unfortunately, but it is what it is. I saw one this year.
We were kind of busy watching the other 16 hours of racing.
Literally, I feel exhausted, honestly, after watching it, but it was good. It was awesome watching that. So, yeah, other than that, I think that's all we've got for this week.
I think so, yeah. And with that, of course, follow us on all of our socials. Facebook, Insta, X, TikTok now. TikTok's kind of fun.
TikTok is
Check it
doing
out.
well.
It is. It's where I get all the interaction. It's
I
great.
know,
I
it's
love to see
great.
it. And speaking on that, you know, anybody who's listening or follows or anything else, I would love to see. I want your messages. I want to see your inbox messages. I want what you're driving. I want where you're going. I want what you've watched. I want your opinion sucks. I want all of it. I want to hear it. I want to talk to you guys. I want to know what's going on. But of course, you can get this over here on YouTube, Spotify, whichever one you listen to us right now. And if you could hit that subscribe and, as they say, ring the bell, that'd be great. And as always, we're going to keep the throttle down and the conversation wide open. And we'll see you next time.
Later.